When you say digital literacy for older adults, what does that actually mean day to day?
It's not necessarily about learning new technology. It's about accomplishing the tasks that you and I, growing up with technology, are used to doing day by day. And also confidence in people to use the technology. So there's three pillars of digital literacy or digital equity. It's device access, it's internet access, and then it's also the digital skills to use the devices that everyone has in their lives. Is it a smartphone? Is it a tablet? Is it a laptop computer, a desktop computer? That's really what digital literacy is to be able to use the technology, not just learn how to use it. For an older adult, we're talking about aging users, that can mean a lot of things. It can be scheduling a telehealth doctor's appointment, setting up new benefits in their benefits portal, joining a Zoom call for a class, or even recognizing if something is fraudulent or if it's a scam. A lot of older adults, unfortunately, fall victims to fraud online, but also on the phone. And we've all gotten these. It doesn't matter if we live in the US or in Europe. We have all gotten these texts or spam calls of someone either requesting money or requesting you to contribute in some way, shape, or form that's fraudulent. And so digital literacy really is also about understanding and having the confidence to decline a call like that and not giving away your information, really understanding what is real and what isn't in the context of online fraud. So the challenge isn't, that people don't know how to use it. It's just that people have not had the chance to be exposed to it in the way that younger generations have, because we've grown up with technology. So that's really what digital literacy is for us. It's the ability to participate online and be part of the modern life and overcoming the barriers of entry of participating in everyday life. That is mostly online.
And are there any best practices in terms of what a relative could say to an older adult on how to stay safe?
Sure. There's a lot of things that can be done in order to prevent fraud. And there's a lot of really good learnings from organizations in order to keep people safe and teach them best practices, how to detect a fraud, but also caregivers who are able to talk to their aging loved ones, to a mother, a father, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle. Sure, there's best practices like don't click that link or always ask questions when you're on the phone. There's one thing that is a best practice, which is wait 5 seconds before you say anything, and wait if there is a pause or if someone's like, hello, are you there? To understand if there's a real human on the other end. But I will say that in the event that a scam call occurs and you're on the phone, oftentimes what gets people to lose their money is not the ability to actually detect the fraud by, in technical terms, but to deal with the anxiety and stress that comes with having to categorize this as a fraud. Now, if someone gets a phone call from seemingly a loved one, let's say it's a grandchild scam, they get a call and on the other line, there's someone that sounds like their grandson who says, Grandma, I'm in trouble. I got arrested and you have to, wire 20,000 euros or $20,000 in order to get me out of jail. That person that is receiving the phone call might deal with a lot of anxiety and stress. In that moment, it's a lot to ask of that person who is new to detecting those scams, to being online, to also understand that this is something fraudulent. So it's about proactive fraud prevention versus in the moment deciding if something, having to have the capacity in that moment to decide whether something is fraudulent or not.
I read somewhere that this sense of urgency often is there to pressure people into quick decisions and that kind of pressure tactic, right?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of play with emotions when it comes to online fraud, not just online, phone fraud, text fraud, but there's a lot of pressure coming from those fraudsters that they know how to use, unfortunately, and people fall for. So it's more about in the moment support and proactive prevention of these frauds versus having to decide in the moment to report something, to go an extra step and take this to the police office or call someone and say, hey, I got this phone call. Do you think this is fraud? Not everyone has someone that can help them in that moment, right? So using AI for good in that we can counteract those scams with proactive fraud prevention and skills and empowering people to use their skills is something that's really important.
And another topic that's been on my mind a lot lately is that we seem to design products for the majority of the population that is not older. And there's a book called The Longevity Economy that has this thesis as well. What are the most common mistakes that products have when they're being designed, when they are built for an aging user?
Well, I think, we're all aging in some way, shape, or form. Every day we're getting older. And hopefully we'll all get to a point where, we are beyond the point of, being young, right? And so I think when it comes to product design, there's a lot of patronizing assumptions that I see in products where it's not about taking information away, but it's being clear in conveying the information. You don't want to be patronizing. You want to make things simpler, but you don't want to, for lack of a better word, dumb it down, because you're not dealing with people that are unable to understand. They're unable to navigate because of a lot of factors. And there's hesitancy, there's a lack of skills, and just a lack of education when it comes to using those products. So when it comes to product design, I think you want to make the user feel capable of doing it themselves while also being there to protect and support them, but mostly empower them, because what you want to do is ultimately have people be able to do it themselves and be able to go that extra step to log into their benefits portal or schedule that doctor's appointment without having to ask for help, or having to ask for help for other things along the lines of, how do I create an Excel sheet? Maybe I want to build a website. There's other things out there, so many things that can be done, but without having to be patronizing. And I think when it comes to design, you want to be accessible, you want to adhere to certain standards, but you also want it usable in a way that's not just usable for older people, but also usable for everyone else.
Yeah. So, what changes when you design with adaptive UI instead of a fixed interface?
Yeah, so I think this ties back into making things simpler, but not taking things away. Traditionally, interfaces are static and everyone gets the same experience regardless of who they are and what their skills are and what their confidence level is. And adaptive UI changes that so that instead of forcing the user to learn the system is learning how to support the user. If someone's confused, their experience will be more guided so that the system, the AI agent in that instance, is able to guide them through clearly and also confidently and help them understand and teach them. But if someone's highly experienced, the interface, the AI agent can stay out of the way, not interfere in a way that interrupts their experience. So if it is a risky situation, if there's a scam pop up, the interface intervenes. It's understanding the user versus the user having to understand the system.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.